The human ship horizon moved slowly through space toward the strange, beautiful planet below. Inside the ship, Dr. Jake Morrison checked his medical equipment for the third time that morning. He was nervous. This was his first real diplomatic mission, and he wanted everything to be perfect. Jake was a medical officer and a scientist who studied alien life forms. He was 32 years old with brown hair and tired eyes from too many late nights reading research papers. He never thought he would be part of something this important. The Valith were one of the oldest and most powerful alien races in the galaxy. If humans could make friends with them, it would change everything. Ambassador Helen Wright walked into the medical bay. She was a tall woman with gray hair and a calm face that never showed worry, even when she probably felt it. "Ready, Dr. Morrison?" she asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Jake said, closing his equipment case. "Do you think they'll actually want to talk to us?" Helen smiled a little. "They invited us here. That's a good sign. Just remember, the Valith are very formal. They have thousands of years of traditions. Don't touch anyone, don't speak unless spoken to first, and always bow before addressing the Emperor." Jake nodded. He had studied all of this, but hearing it again made it feel more real. The planet below was called Vylara. It looked like a giant crystal ball reflecting light from the two suns that it orbited. The surface was covered in structures that seemed to be made of glass and light. Jake had never seen anything so beautiful. When they landed, a group of Valith waited for them. Jake's breath caught in his throat. The aliens were tall and thin, with skin that looked almost see-through. Their skin changed colors slowly, shifting from blue to purple to green. They wore long robes made of something that looked like liquid silver. One of the Valith stepped forward. "Welcome to Vylara," he said in perfect English. "I am Keeper Valen. The Emperor awaits you in the palace. Please follow me." The humans followed Keeper Valen through the city. Everything around them seemed to glow with soft light. The buildings were made of crystal that rang like bells when the wind touched them. Other Valith stopped to watch the humans pass, their skin colors shifting rapidly. Jake guessed that meant they were curious or excited. The palace was the largest structure Jake had ever seen. It rose into the sky like a mountain made of diamonds. Inside, the halls were wide and empty. Their footsteps echoed on the smooth floor, but something was wrong. Jake could feel it. The Valith who passed them in the halls moved quickly, their skin flashing dark colors. In his studies, Jake had learned that dark colors meant worry or fear. Keeper Valen led them into a large throne room. The Emperor sat on a chair that seemed to be carved from a single piece of crystal. He was ancient-looking, his skin a deep blue color. Next to him stood a younger Valith woman with long silver hair. Ambassador Wright stepped forward and bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, thank you for welcoming us to your world. We are honored." The Emperor stood. "Ambassador Wright, I wish this meeting could be under better circumstances. But I must be honest with you. We have a crisis, and I have no more time for formalities." Helen looked surprised. "Your Majesty, what's wrong?" The Emperor's skin flashed a deep dark gray. "My daughter, Princess Lyria, is dying. Our best healers cannot help her. I invited you here hoping that your different knowledge might offer something we have not tried." The silver-haired woman next to the throne stepped forward. "I am Lady Serena, the Emperor's eldest daughter. Please, will you at least look at her? We are desperate." Jake felt Helen look at him. He nodded slightly. This wasn't what they came here for, but how could they say no? "Of course," Helen said. "Dr. Morrison is our medical expert. He specializes in alien biology." The Emperor looked at Jake for the first time. "Then please come quickly." They rushed through the palace halls. Jake's mind raced. He had never treated a Valith before. He barely knew how their bodies worked, but he had to try. They entered a large room filled with soft light. In the center was a bed, and on the bed lay a young Valith woman. Her skin was a terrible gray color, almost like stone. She wasn't moving. Around her, several Valith in white robes worked with floating screens and devices that hummed softly. "This is Princess Lyria," the Emperor said, his voice breaking. "She has been like this for 3 months. Every day she gets worse." Jake stepped closer, careful not to touch anything. The princess looked young, maybe 20 in human years. Her face was peaceful, but her skin had no color at all. The devices around her showed readings he didn't understand. One of the white-robed Valith turned to him. "I am head physician Narim. We have tried every treatment known to our people. Her body is shutting down. We believe it is a problem with her bioelectric field, the energy that runs through all living things, but we cannot fix it." Jake studied the equipment. May I scan her with my own devices? Please, the Emperor said. Jake pulled out his medical scanner and ran it over the princess. The readings appeared on his small screen. His eyes went wide. He had seen something like this before in his studies of a rare human condition. Can you help her? Lady Serena asked, her voice full of hope. Jake looked at the readings again. Maybe. This looks like a cascading bioelectric failure. In humans, we've seen similar cases. The body's electrical system gets out of rhythm and can't reset itself. How do you treat it in humans? Physician Narim asked. Jake felt his face get hot. Well, in humans, sometimes another person's bioelectric field can help restart the system. It's like jumping a dead battery with a car, but what? The Emperor demanded. But I would need to touch her. Direct skin contact. I know that's against your customs. I'm sorry, I don't know another way. The entire room went silent. The Valeth all stared at Jake. Their skin colors flashed rapid dark colors. Jake realized he had just suggested something horrible to them. You cannot, one of the physicians said. Physical contact between individuals is forbidden except in the most intimate bonds. The princess has never been touched by anyone outside her family. I understand, Jake said quietly. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have suggested it. The Emperor looked at his dying daughter. His hands shook. What if we allow it? What might happen? Jake swallowed hard. I honestly don't know. It might do nothing. It might help. In theory, my bioelectric field operates on a different frequency than yours. That different frequency might be enough to restart her system. Or it might kill her faster, Physician Narim said. Yes, Jake admitted. That's possible too. The Emperor closed his eyes. The whole room waited. Finally, he opened them again. She is dying anyway. If there is any chance, we must take it. Dr. Morrison, you have my permission. Please try to save my daughter. Jake's heart pounded. Every Valeth in the room was watching him. He walked slowly to the princess's bed. His hand shook as he reached out. I'll just touch her forehead, he said. To check her temperature and establish contact. He placed his hand gently on Princess Lyria's forehead. Her skin was cool and smooth like touching glass. Then it happened. A warm golden light burst from where Jake's hand touched her skin. It spread across her body like sunrise breaking through clouds. The gray color in her skin began to fade, replaced by soft blues and purples. The princess took a sudden deep breath. Everyone in the room gasped. The Emperor stumbled forward. Lyria. The princess's eyes opened. They were a deep violet color, beautiful and confused. She looked up at Jake's face, at his hand on her forehead, and whispered something in her own language. She asks who you are, Lady Serena translated. Tears running down her face. Jake didn't know what to say. I'm Jake, I'm here to help. The golden light continued to pulse softly where they touched. Princess Lyria's color grew stronger with each second. It was working. Somehow, impossibly, it was working. But Jake could feel something else too. He could feel her energy, her life force reaching out to his own. It was like nothing he had ever experienced. And in that moment, everything changed. The golden light faded slowly, but Jake kept his hand on Princess Lyria's forehead. He was afraid to move, afraid that if he broke contact, she would turn gray again. The princess was breathing normally now. Color had returned to her skin, which shifted through gentle shades of blue and purple. Her eyes stayed focused on Jake's face with an expression he couldn't quite read. She looked confused, curious, and maybe a little scared. Incredible, Physician Narim whispered. He moved closer with his scanning devices. Her readings are stabilizing. Her bioelectric field is functioning again. How is this possible? The Emperor rushed to his daughter's side. Lyria, my dear child, can you speak? How do you feel? Princess Lyria's eyes moved from Jake to her father. Father, I feel strange, warm. I can feel my body again. For so long, everything was cold and distant. Her voice was soft and musical. What happened? Lady Serena knelt beside the bed. The humans came. This doctor, he touched you and you began to heal. The princess looked back at Jake. Her skin flashed a quick pink color. You touched me? But that's... She trailed off, seeming too weak to finish. I'm sorry, Jake said quickly. Your father gave permission. You were dying and I thought I could help. Don't apologize, the Emperor said. You saved her life. We are forever in your debt. Jake felt the princess's energy through his hand. It was stronger now, but still fragile, like a candle flame in the wind. Your Majesty, I need to tell you something. I'm not sure this is permanent. Everyone turned to look at him. What do you mean? Lady Serena asked. Jake chose his words carefully. The contact helped restart her bioelectric system, but I can feel that it's still weak. I think if I remove my hand too soon, she might fade again. Her body needs time to remember how to maintain the field on its own. Physician Narim ran more scans. His face grew serious. The human is correct. The princess's field is active, but it's being stabilized by his presence. Her own system has not fully recovered. How long will it take? The Emperor asked. I don't know, Jake admitted. In humans, this kind of condition can take weeks to fully heal. But I've never treated a Valeth before. It could be different. The Emperor looked at his daughter, then at Jake, then at Ambassador Wright, who had been standing quietly in the corner. Ambassador, I must ask something unprecedented of you and your people. Helen stepped forward. Anything, Your Majesty. Dr. Morrison must stay here in contact with my daughter until she is fully healed. I know this is a great burden, but I have no choice. Without him, she will die. Helen looked at Jake. It's your decision, Doctor. Jake didn't hesitate. Of course I'll stay. I can't leave her like this. But wait, one of the other physicians said. He cannot maintain contact every moment. He must eat, sleep, perform his own bodily functions. What happens when he must remove his hand? Jake had been thinking about that. We can test it. Let me slowly pull away and see how long she stays stable. The Emperor nodded. Do it carefully. Jake very slowly lifted his hand from Princess Lyria's forehead. The golden light faded completely. For a moment, nothing happened. The princess still looked healthy, her colors still bright. Then after about 30 seconds, her skin began to turn gray again. She gasped and her eyes showed panic. Jake quickly put his hand back. The golden light returned and color flooded back into her skin. She took deep breaths, shaking. 30 seconds, Physician Narim said, recording the data. She can survive 30 seconds without contact before regression begins. That's not enough time for anything, Lady Serena said, worry clear in her voice. Jake's mind raced. We can work with this. If someone helps me, I can eat and drink while maintaining contact. I can sleep sitting in a chair next to her bed. For anything else, we'll need to find solutions. Maybe as she gets stronger, the time will increase. The Emperor looked tired. This is highly irregular. In all our history, no Valeth has needed such constant contact with another being, and for it to be with an alien. He shook his head. But there is no other choice. Dr. Morrison, you will be given quarters next to my daughter's rooms. Whatever you need, you will have. Thank you, Your Majesty. The Emperor turned to his guards. Let it be known that Dr. Morrison is under my personal protection. He is to be treated as a royal physician and given all respect and privilege. Anyone who interferes with his care of the princess will answer to me personally. The guards bowed deeply. Ambassador Wright approached Jake. I'll inform the horizon of the situation. We'll stay in orbit as long as needed. The rest of the diplomatic team can begin preliminary talks while you're occupied. I'm sorry this isn't what we planned, Jake said. Helen smiled. Actually, this might be the best thing that could have happened. You're saving a princess's life. That's a better start to relations than any formal negotiation could be. Over the next hour, the room filled with activity. Servants brought in a comfortable chair and placed it next to the princess's bed. They brought Jake food and water. They set up a small table with his medical equipment on it. Jake kept his hand on Princess Lyria's forehead the whole time. She watched all the activity with wide eyes. She looked overwhelmed. Are you okay? Jake asked her quietly. She looked at him. I don't know. This is all very strange. I've been sick for so long, I almost forgot what it felt like to be alive. And now there's you, a human, touching me. I can feel your energy mixing with mine. She paused. It's not unpleasant. Just different. I know this must be really uncomfortable for you, Jake said. I've read that your people don't touch. I'm sorry. You keep apologizing, Lyria said. But you saved my life. I should be thanking you. Her skin flashed a warm yellow color. Jake had read that yellow meant gratitude or happiness among the Valeth. You're welcome, he said. Lady Serena approached them. Dr. Morrison, I will be your primary contact in the palace. If you need anything, ask me. I've arranged for meals to be brought to you every few hours. I've also assigned a servant, Kira, to help you with anything you need. A young Valeth woman stepped forward and bowed. It's an honor to serve you, Doctor. Thank you, Jake said. Though please, just call me Jake, Lady Serena smiled. That's very informal, but if you wish. Now I must attend to other matters. Lyria, I'm so happy you're awake again. She touched her hand to her heart, which seemed to be how the Valeth showed affection without physical contact. After she left, the room grew quieter. The physicians continued their monitoring, but they moved to the far side of the room to give Jake and Lyria some space. Can I ask you something? Lyria said, Of course. What is Earth like? I've never met a human before, Jake smiled. Earth is beautiful. We have blue oceans and green forests, mountains and deserts, lots of different places. It's nothing like your world, though. Everything here is so much more elegant. Tell me more, Lyria said. Her eyes were bright with curiosity. What is it like to be human? I've heard your people touch each other all the time. Is that true? Yes, Jake said. We shake hands when we meet. We hug our friends and family. Some people hold hands when they walk together. Touch is how we show care and connection. Lyria's skin rippled with color. That sounds wonderful and terrifying at the same time. We Valeth, we show emotion through our skin colors and through words. Physical touch is something we only do when we bond with a life partner, and even then it's rare and special. So I'm the first person outside your family who has ever touched you, Jake said, realizing the weight of it. Yes, Lyria said softly, and you may be the only one who ever will unless I someday choose a mate. This is a very strange situation. They fell into silence. Jake could feel tiredness creeping into his body. It had been a long day and the emotional stress was catching up with him. Lyria seemed to sense it. You're tired. You should rest. I'll be okay, Jake said. I can sleep in this chair tonight. That doesn't seem comfortable. I've slept in worse places, Jake said with a small laugh. During my medical training, I once slept standing up in a closet between shifts. Lyria's skin flashed a light orange color. Is that amusement? Are you laughing? Yes, orange means you find something funny. You're learning my colors quickly. A servant brought Jake dinner. With his free hand, he awkwardly ate some kind of grain dish and vegetables. Lyria watched him with interest. Human food looks different from ours, she observed. Everything about humans is probably different from what you're used to, Jake said. Yes, Lyria agreed, but maybe different isn't bad. You saved my life because you're different. Because your bioelectric field works in a way ours doesn't. Jake nodded. That's a good way to think about it. As the evening went on, the room grew dimmer. The Valeth seemed to adjust their lighting to match their day and night cycle. Jake's eyes grew heavy. Lyria noticed. Sleep, Jake, I'll be fine. I promise to stay still so I don't wake you. Thank you, Jake murmured. He adjusted his chair and closed his eyes, his hand still resting on her forehead. Just before he fell asleep, he heard her whisper, Thank you for staying with me. He wanted to answer, but sleep took him first. 3 weeks had passed since Jake first touched Princess Lyria. 3 weeks of sitting beside her bed, his hand connected to hers. They had discovered that hand-holding worked just as well as touching her forehead, which made everything more comfortable for both of them. The progress was real but slow. Lyria could now last for 5 minutes without contact before her symptoms started returning. It wasn't much, but it was better than 30 seconds. Jake was hopeful that she would eventually recover completely. Their days had fallen into a routine. In the mornings, physician Narration would come to run tests and check Lyria's progress. Then Jake and Lyria would talk for hours. She asked him endless questions about Earth and humanity. He learned about Valeth history and culture from her stories. Tell me about your family, Lyria said one morning. She was sitting up in bed now, much stronger than before. Her skin glowed with healthy colors, mostly blues and purples with occasional flashes of other shades. Jake held her hand gently. My parents live in a place called Colorado. It's mountainous, beautiful. My father is a teacher and my mother is an engineer. I have one sister, Katie. She's younger than me and much funnier. I miss them. Do you touch them often? Lyria asked. Your family? When I see them, yes. My mom always hugs me hello and goodbye. Katie used to hold my hand when we were kids. Lyria's skin flashed yellow with a touch of pink. That sounds lovely. My father used to hold me when I was very young, but as I grew older, it stopped. That's our way. We become independent, separate. Sometimes I wonder if we lose something in that separation. Every culture is different, Jake said. Neither way is wrong. Perhaps, Lyria said thoughtfully. But I must admit this constant contact with you has been interesting. At first it felt so strange, almost frightening. Now I think I would miss it if it stopped. Jake felt his face grow warm. He had been thinking the same thing, but hearing her say it made it real. I would miss it too. They looked at each other for a moment, then Lyria changed the subject. Tell me about becoming a doctor. Why did you choose to study alien life? Jake was grateful for the change in topic. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea that life could exist in so many different forms. After humans made first contact with other species, I knew I wanted to understand them. I wanted to help build bridges between different kinds of life. And now you're literally keeping one of those life forms alive, Lyria said with a flash of orange humor in her skin. I guess I am. Jake laughed. The door opened and Lady Serena entered. She had become a frequent visitor, often bringing news from the palace and the outside world. Good morning, she said, bowing slightly. How is the patient today? Stronger, Lyria answered. We tested earlier. I lasted 5 minutes and 20 seconds without contact. That's wonderful news, Serena said, her skin flashing bright yellow. But then her colors darkened. I wish I could say all the news is good. What's wrong? Jake asked. Serena looked uncomfortable. There's been talk in the court. Some of the nobles are not happy about this situation. They think it's improper for the princess to have such close contact with an alien. They're calling it a corruption of our traditions. Lyria's skin flashed dark red. That's ridiculous. Jake is saving my life. I know that and Father knows that, but not everyone sees it that way. Duke Theron especially has been spreading doubts. Duke Theron has always been a problem, Lyria said, her voice sharp. He hates any kind of change. He would rather I die traditionally than live in a new way. Jake felt cold fear in his stomach. Is there real danger? Could they try to separate us? Serena shook her head. Not while Father supports this. He's made it clear that anyone who interferes will face consequences. But after Lyria is healed, when the human delegation negotiates the alliance, these nobles will try to block it. Then we'll deal with that when the time comes, Lyria said firmly. For now I need to focus on getting well. After Serena left, Lyria was quiet for a long time. Jake could feel tension in her hand. Are you worried? He asked. Yes, she admitted. Not for myself, but for what this means. My healing has become political. Some people will use it as proof that cooperation with humans is good. Others will use it as proof that humans are dangerous and corrupting. I never wanted to be a symbol. I understand, Jake said. But maybe being a symbol isn't always bad. Maybe you can show your people that change doesn't have to be scary. Lyria looked at him with her deep violet eyes. You really believe that? I do. I've watched you these past 3 weeks. You're brave and smart. You ask questions about everything. You're not afraid to challenge your own assumptions. If anyone can help your people see the value in opening up to new ideas, it's you. Her skin rippled with pink and yellow colors. Thank you, Jake. That means a lot. Over the next few days, Jake noticed changes beyond just Lyria's physical health. She seemed more confident, more willing to speak her mind. She started asking the physicians questions about her treatment instead of just accepting what they said. She asked Jake to teach her about human medicine and biology. One afternoon, she surprised him with a request. Jake, I want to try something. What is it? I want to stand up. I want to walk. I've been in this bed for months. I need to feel like myself again. Jake was nervous. Are you sure? We should probably ask physician Naram first. I'm asking you, Lyria said. You're my doctor too, aren't you? She was right. He had been acting as her physician all along. Okay, let's try. But slowly, and I won't let go of your hand. He stood up first, then carefully helped Lyria move to the edge of the bed. Her legs were weak from months of not using them. She put her feet on the floor and stood up slowly, leaning heavily on Jake for support. How do you feel? He asked. Shaky but good. Really good. They took a few slow steps together, hand in hand. Lyria wobbled but didn't fall. Her skin glowed bright with yellow and blue colors. She was happy. I'm doing it, she said, wonder in her voice. I'm walking. You are, Jake said, smiling widely. They walked around the room twice before Lyria got too tired. Jake helped her back to bed. She was breathing hard, but her eyes were bright. Thank you, she said. I needed that. Anytime. That evening, something changed between them. Jake couldn't quite name it, but he felt it. Maybe it was watching her stand up and walk. Maybe it was seeing her determination to get better. Or maybe it was the way she looked at him like he was more than just her doctor. Jake, can I tell you something? Lyria asked as the lights dimmed for night. Of course. Before I got sick, I felt very lonely. I'm a princess, which means I have responsibilities but not many real friends. People treat me with too much respect to be honest with me. They never just talk to me like a normal person. That sounds hard. It was, but you talk to me like I'm just Lyria. Not Princess Lyria, not a royal figure. Just me. I appreciate that more than you know. Jake squeezed her hand gently. You are just Lyria to me. A person I'm getting to know and really like. Her skin went bright pink. I like you too, Jake. Is that strange? That I feel this way about someone I met only because I was dying? I don't think it's strange, Jake said quietly. We've spent almost every moment together for 3 weeks. We've talked about everything. I probably know you better than I know most people in my life. And I know you, Lyria said. I know you prefer tea to coffee. I know you miss the mountains of your home. I know you make jokes when you're nervous. I know you care deeply about helping others even when it costs you. Jake felt something tight in his chest. Lyria, you don't have to say anything, she interrupted. I just wanted you to know. When I'm finally healed and you go back to your ship, I'll miss you. Not just because you kept me alive, but because you became my friend. You became my friend too, Jake said. They sat in comfortable silence as night deepened around them. Jake thought about how strange life was. He had come to this planet expecting formal diplomatic meetings. Instead, he found himself holding hands with an alien princess, feeling things he had never expected to feel. In the darkness, Lyria whispered, Jake, do you think we're doing something wrong? My people don't form connections like this, and you're human. We're so different. I think, Jake said carefully, that connection between people is never wrong. How we choose to act on those connections, that's what matters. And right now what matters is getting you well. You're right, Lyria said. But after I'm well? What then? Jake didn't have an answer for that. The future felt uncertain and complicated. But as he held Lyria's hand in the darkness, he knew one thing for certain. Whatever happened next, this experience had changed him forever. 6 weeks had passed. Princess Lyria could now go for 15 minutes without contact before symptoms returned. She was walking every day, growing stronger. The palace physicians were amazed by her progress. Ambassador Wright's diplomatic talks with the Emperor were going well. Everything seemed to be moving in the right direction. Then Duke Theron made his move. It started with a formal ceremony. The Emperor was holding a gathering to celebrate the potential alliance with humanity. All the important nobles were invited. Jake was there too, standing near Lyria. They weren't holding hands at that moment because she was doing well, but he stayed close in case she needed him. The throne room was full of Valeth in their finest robes. Their skin colors created a moving rainbow of light. Ambassador Wright stood near the Emperor with her team. Everything felt important and official. Duke Theron stood up to speak. He was an old Valeth with dark purple skin and cold eyes. His voice carried across the room. Your Majesty, I must speak my concerns. For weeks we have watched as our beloved princess has been held by alien influence. We have watched as she becomes more like them and less like us. This is not healing. This is corruption. A murmur ran through the crowd. Some skin colors flashed in agreement. Others showed anger at his words. The Emperor's skin went dark red. Duke Theron, Dr. Morrison is saving my daughter's life. How dare you call that corruption? Is he saving her, Your Majesty? Or is he making her dependent on humans? Look at her. She cannot survive without constant contact with this alien. She has become addicted to their touch, to their energy. Is that truly better than a natural death? Lyria's skin flashed bright red. How dare you? Jake is my friend and my healer. He has done nothing but help me. You see? Duke Theron said, turning to the crowd. She even speaks like them now. Uses their informal names. She calls an alien her friend. This is exactly what I warned about. If we allow this alliance, all of us will become corrupted. We will lose what makes us Valeth. Several nobles nodded. Their skin colors showed agreement. Jake felt sick. He looked at Lyria and saw fear in her eyes. This was bad. Ambassador Wright stepped forward. Duke Theron, your concerns are based on fear, not facts. Dr. Morrison's treatment is medical, not political. The princess is healing naturally. Soon she won't need any contact at all. Naturally. Duke Theron laughed. There is nothing natural about this. And even if she heals, the damage is done. She has been touched by an alien. She can never be properly Valeth again. She is ruined. That is enough. The Emperor's voice boomed through the room. You go too far, Theron. But Duke Theron wasn't finished. He raised his hand and suddenly guards wearing his family colors rushed into the room. They weren't the Emperor's guards. They were Theron's private soldiers. "I am sorry, Your Majesty, but I cannot stand by while our royal family is destroyed. I am taking the princess into protective custody. We will care for her in the traditional way. If she dies, she will die with honor, not as a human's pet." "No," Lyria screamed. Everything happened fast. The guards rushed toward Lyria. Jake stepped in front of her without thinking. 2 guards grabbed his arms and tried to pull him away. He fought to stay close to her. "Don't touch her," Jake shouted. "She needs me." But more guards came. They were pulling Jake away, and other guards were reaching for Lyria. Her skin was turning gray already. She was panicking, which made her condition worse. Then Lady Serena did something brave. She threw herself between Lyria and the guards. "You will not touch my sister." The Emperor's loyal guards finally reacted. They drew weapons and moved toward Theron's men. The throne room erupted into chaos. Nobles scattered. Guards fought guards. Ambassador Wright was shouting for everyone to stop. Jake broke free from one guard and lunged for Lyria. He managed to grab her hand. The golden light flared and her color started to return. But guards grabbed him again. "Hold him," Duke Theron commanded. "Separate them." "Father, help us," Lyria cried out. The Emperor stood on his throne. His skin flashed bright red and black, colors that meant rage. "Theron, you have committed treason. Stand down now, or you will be executed." "I act to save our people," Theron said, "even if you cannot see the danger." More of the Emperor's guards poured into the room. They outnumbered Theron's men. Slowly, the situation stabilized. Theron's guards were forced to surrender. Jake was released and immediately went to Lyria, taking both her hands in his. She was shaking and pale. "Thank you," she whispered. "I thought they were going to take you away." "I'm here," Jake said. "I'm not going anywhere." The Emperor's guards arrested Duke Theron and his followers. Theron was dragged from the room, still shouting about corruption and tradition. The Emperor looked older and more tired than Jake had ever seen him. "Clear this room," the Emperor commanded. "Everyone out except my family, Dr. Morrison and Ambassador Wright." The nobles hurried away. Soon only a small group remained in the vast throne room. The Emperor sat down heavily. "I am sorry you had to witness that. Duke Theron has been a thorn in my side for years, but I never thought he would go this far. Your Majesty, with respect, this is bigger than one duke," Ambassador Wright said. "He spoke for a significant portion of your people. Even if he's arrested, the feelings he expressed are real. Many Valith fear the changes that contact with humanity will bring." "I know," the Emperor said sadly, "and I don't know how to fix it." Lady Serena stood near her father. "The problem is that they see Lyria's healing as something shameful. They see human contact as a weakness. We need to change that perception." "How?" the Emperor asked. Lyria spoke up. Her voice was stronger now, though she still held tight to Jake's hands. "Let me help. Let me show them that what happened to me isn't shameful. Let me explain how Jake saved my life and how human knowledge can help all of us." "Lyria, you're not strong enough yet," the Emperor said. "Then I'll get stronger faster," Lyria said. "Father, I can't hide in my room anymore. Duke Theron said I was corrupted and ruined. I need to show everyone that I'm still me, that I'm still Valith. I just have a human friend who helped me when I needed it." Jake looked at her with surprise. "Lyria, are you sure?" "That could be dangerous." "I'm sure," she said. "We can't let fear win. If we do, then Duke Theron wins even from prison." The Emperor considered this. Finally, he nodded. "You are brave, my daughter. Braver than I gave you credit for. If you want to do this, I will support you. But we must be careful. There are still many who think like Theron." "I'll be careful," Lyria promised. "But I won't be silent." Ambassador Wright smiled. "Princess Lyria, if you're willing to speak publicly about your experience, it could change everything. Not just for the Alliance, but for how our peoples see each other." Over the next 2 days, they planned carefully. Lyria would give a public address to the people of Vylara. She would explain what happened to her, how Jake saved her, and why cooperation with humans was important. It would be broadcast across the entire planet. Jake helped Lyria practice her speech. She was nervous, her skin flashing colors rapidly. "What if they don't listen?" she asked. "What if they hate me?" "They won't hate you," Jake said. "You're their princess. You're brave and honest. People will see that." "I hope you're right." The night before the broadcast, Lyria couldn't sleep. Jake sat with her, holding her hand. "Jake, I'm scared," she admitted. "That's okay. Being scared doesn't mean you're not brave. It means you understand what's at stake. What if I make things worse? You won't. You're going to stand up there and tell the truth. That's all you can do. Lyria squeezed his hand. I couldn't do this without you. Not just because of the healing, but because you make me feel like I can do anything. Jake felt his heart beat faster. You could always do anything. You just needed to believe it. She looked at him with those deep violet eyes. Will you stay with me tomorrow? During the speech, of course. I'll be right there. The next day came too quickly. They set up in the palace's main hall. Cameras would broadcast Lyria's speech to every home on Velara. Thousands of Valeth gathered outside the palace to watch on huge screens. Lyria stood in the center of the hall wearing her royal robes. Jake stood slightly behind her, close enough to help if she needed it. The Emperor, Lady Serena, and Ambassador Wright watched from the side. The broadcast began. Lyria's face appeared on screens across the planet. She took a deep breath and began to speak. My people, I am Princess Lyria. Many of you have heard that I was sick. Some of you heard that I was corrupted by humans. I am here today to tell you the truth. She explained everything. How she had been dying. How the Valeth doctors tried everything and failed. How Jake offered a chance even though it meant breaking traditions. How the healing worked. How she slowly got stronger. I know many of you are afraid, Lyria said. You think that contact with humans will change us. You're right. It will change us. But change is not always bad. The humans have knowledge we don't have. We have knowledge they don't have. Together we can help each other in ways neither of us can achieve alone. She paused, then said something that wasn't in the rehearsed speech. I have touched a human. I have held his hand for weeks, and I am still Valeth. I still love my people. I still honor our traditions. But I have also learned that there are many ways to live, many ways to connect, many ways to be. We don't have to be afraid of that. Jake watched the monitors. The days after Lyria's speech were tense. The planet seemed divided. Some Valeth praised the princess's courage. Others still thought she had been corrupted. But at least people were talking, thinking, questioning their old assumptions. Meanwhile, Lyria continued to get stronger. Her recovery time without contact was now up to 30 minutes. Jake and the Valeth physicians worked together on a new project. They were trying to build a device that could create the same bioelectric frequency that Jake's body naturally produced. If we can do this, Physician Naram explained, we can help any Valeth who suffers from bioelectric disorders. The princess won't be the only one who benefits from this knowledge. Jake spent hours working with the Valeth scientists. They were brilliant and their technology was far beyond anything humans had. Together they made progress quickly. Lyria watched them work with interest. She asked questions and made suggestions. Jake realized she was smarter than he had given her credit for. She understood complex medical concepts quickly. You would make a good doctor, he told her one day. She flashed yellow with pleasure. You think so? I've always wanted to do something meaningful. Being a princess is mostly just ceremonies and formal dinners. But this, helping people, this feels real. 2 months after Jake first touched Lyria, they achieved a breakthrough. The device worked. It was a small band that could be worn on the wrist, generating the correct bioelectric frequency. When Lyria wore it, she didn't need Jake's touch at all. They tested it carefully, first for an hour, then for several hours, then for a full day. Lyria stayed healthy and strong. Her own bioelectric system had fully healed. She didn't need Jake anymore. Everyone celebrated the success. The Emperor was overjoyed. The physicians were amazed. Ambassador Wright called it a historic moment for human Valeth cooperation. But Jake felt strange. He should have been happy. He had saved Lyria's life and helped create technology that would help many others. But all he could think about was that he didn't need to hold her hand anymore. He wouldn't have a reason to stay by her side. That night, Lyria came to find him. She was wearing the device on her wrist, but she looked sad. We did it, she said. I'm healed. You are, Jake said. That's wonderful. Then why do I feel so sad? Jake looked at her. I feel sad too. I'm going to miss you, Lyria said. Her skin went through a dozen colors, showing all her confused emotions. These 2 months with you have been the best of my life. Even though I was sick, even though things were hard, I was happy because I was with you. I was happy too, Jake admitted. I know I came here to do a job, but it became so much more than that. You became important to me. And you became important to me, Lyria said. Jake, I don't want you to leave. I don't want to leave either. But my mission here is done. The diplomatic team has finished their work. The alliance is going to happen. There's no reason for me to stay. Lyria stepped closer to him. She reached out and took his hand. Not because she needed to for her health, but just because she wanted to. What if I asked you to stay? Not as my doctor, but as my friend? Maybe more than my friend? Jake's heart raced. Lyria, you're a princess. I'm just a doctor. Your people are still getting used to the idea of working with humans. If we were together, it would cause more problems. Let them have problems, Lyria said, her skin flashing bright red. I'm tired of living my life based on what other people think. You taught me that change isn't something to fear. Well, I want to change. I want to choose my own path, and I choose you. Are you sure? Jake asked. This won't be easy. Nothing worth doing is easy, Lyria said. You told me that. Jake pulled her close and hugged her. It was the first real hug they had ever shared. Lyria stiffened at first, not used to it, but then relaxed into his arms. Her skin glowed with warm pink and yellow colors. This feels nice, she whispered. It does, Jake agreed. The next day, Lyria spoke to her father. She told him she wanted Jake to stay on Vylara as a permanent medical advisor. She also told him honestly that she had feelings for Jake and wanted to see where those feelings might lead. The Emperor was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, I had a feeling this might happen. You two have been through so much together. How could you not become close? Are you angry? Lyria asked. No, the Emperor said. I'm worried. I'm worried about what others will say. I'm worried about the politics. But I'm also proud of you. You've grown so much these past months. You've become the kind of leader our people need. Someone who can bridge old and new. If Jake makes you happy, then I support it. Thank you, Father. The Emperor smiled. Besides, he saved your life. He has my approval to do whatever makes you happy. Ambassador Wright was also supportive. Dr. Morrison, if you want to stay here, we'll make it work. You've already done more for human-Valith relations than any formal treaty could. Having you here permanently would be valuable. Jake accepted the position. He would stay on Vylara as a medical advisor, working with Valith physicians to develop new treatments using combined human and Valith knowledge. Over the next few weeks, more good news came. The bioelectric device had been tested on 17 other Valith patients with similar disorders. All of them showed improvement. The technology was being hailed as a medical breakthrough. Public opinion slowly shifted. Many Valith who had been against the alliance started to see the benefits. They had proof that cooperation with humans could improve lives. Duke Theron's followers became quieter. The formal alliance treaty was signed in a grand ceremony. The Emperor and Ambassador Wright stood together, symbolizing the new partnership between their peoples. Lyria stood with them, representing hope for the future. After the ceremony, there was a celebration. Jake and Lyria walked through the palace gardens together. They held hands and no one stared or complained. It was starting to feel normal. I can't believe all this really happened, Lyria said. 6 months ago I was dying. Now I'm healthier than I've ever been, and 2 planets are working together because of what we went through. It's pretty amazing, Jake agreed. Jake, can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever regret it? Coming here? Giving up your life on Earth? Dealing with all the complications? Jake stopped walking and turned to face her. Not for a second. This has been the most meaningful experience of my life. I got to save someone I care about. I got to help build a bridge between worlds. And I got to meet you. How could I regret any of that? Lyria's skin glowed bright with happiness. I'm glad, because I'm not letting you go. Good, Jake said, smiling. I'm not going anywhere. 6 months later, the Horizon returned to Vylara. Jake went up to the ship to visit his old crew and meet some new human medical professionals who were coming to work on joint projects. Everyone wanted to hear his story. He told them about the healing, about the political crisis, about the breakthrough with the bioelectric device. He told them about Princess Lyria and how brave she had been. So you're really staying here permanently? One of the new doctors asked. I am, Jake said. This is my home now. What's it like living with the Valith? Jake thought about it. Different, but good. I'm learning their language and their customs. I'm making friends, and I'm doing work that matters. They're teaching me as much as I teach them. When he returned to the planet, Lyria was waiting for him. She ran to him, which was unusual for a Valith princess, but she didn't care. She hugged him tight. I missed you, she said, even though you were only gone for one day. I missed you too. They walked back to the palace together. Lyria told him about a new project she was working on. She wanted to start a school that would teach young Valeth about other species and cultures. She wanted the next generation to grow up without the same fears their parents had. That's a great idea, Jake said. Will you help me? You could teach classes about humans and Earth. I would love that. As they reached the palace, Lyria stopped and looked up at the stars. Do you ever miss Earth? Your family? Your old life sometimes, Jake admitted. But I can visit. And they understand. My mom said she's proud of me. Katie wants to come visit next year. I would like to meet them, Lyria said. To thank them for raising such a good person. They would like to meet you too. That night they stood together on Lyria's balcony, looking out over the crystal city. The two suns were setting, creating a beautiful display of colors in the sky. Jake, do you believe in fate? Lyria asked. I don't know. Maybe. Why? Because sometimes I think we were meant to meet. That everything that happened, even the bad parts, led us to this moment. You came here to save my life, but you also changed my whole world. You changed mine too, Jake said. He put his arm around her shoulders and she leaned into him. It felt natural now, this closeness. What do you think will happen next? Lyria asked. I think we'll keep working together. Both of us and both our peoples. I think we'll build something amazing. And I think we'll be happy. I think so too, Lyria said. They stood there together as the sun set completely and stars filled the sky. Two beings from different worlds, brought together by chance and medical need, who found something deeper than either expected. Sometimes healing wasn't just about fixing bodies. Sometimes it was about connecting hearts and bridging the distance between different kinds of life. Sometimes one touch could change everything, for a person and for an entire civilization. Jake had come.